This week on the Canadian Tech Podcast, we've talked to the founders of Go Network. Alexa has officially arrived north of the 49th parallel. Ontario could have mobile IDs a year from now. And Rogers can't code fast enough for the CRTC. That's all next and more on the Canadian Tech Podcast. The Canadian Tech Podcast is sponsored by Olio Digital Labs. Olio are the planners, designers, and developers of the apps used by some of Canada's biggest brands. Find out what Olio can do for you at oliodigitallabs.com. And we're also sponsored by CodeShip, continuous integration and delivery software that lets you ship your apps with confidence. Both CodeShip Basic and CodeShip Pro come with a free plan that grants 100 builds per month, unlimited projects, and unlimited users. Visit codeship.com today to find out which CodeShip product is right for you.
Welcome to the Canadian Tech Podcast, episode 140 for Sunday, November 19th, 2017, sponsored by Olio Digital Labs and CodeShip. My name is Stuart Clark.
And my name is Derek Silva.
Well, Derek, another week has come and gone. Looks like there's a little bit of snow falling here in southwestern Ontario. Rather cold week out there.
Yeah, it was really warm yesterday, which I was totally fine with. And then on my way to and from West Lorne, which I will explain later, it was, to for West Lorne today, it was snowing a bit. From was fine, but chilly. And I'm not enjoying it, obviously, especially paired with the darkness, but I shall, I shall trudge through.
You should well, now you got that giant pickup, there's no excuse there. You'll be taking half the team.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay, so also on the podcast tonight, we have two guests with us tonight. Derek, why don't you go ahead and do the introductions?
Yeah, we have the co-founders of Go Network. They are named Shun Kai and Rashid Khan. Shun, Rashid, welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. Good day to be here.
Hey, guys. It's Kai.
Sure, we'll go with Kai. Thanks a lot for coming on. It's actually really exciting to have you guys on for a bunch of reasons. One, you guys are heavy into crypto right now. You were at the ETH Waterloo hackathon, and you guys won, right?
Yes, we were one of the 8 winning teams. So over 400 people came into the hackathon, and it was very intense. So we had to do the whole project within 36 hours. And the great thing was we were exposed to a lot of elites from the Ethereum Foundation.
Nice.
And also I was really excited to be in that event because there are a lot of talented people there and a lot of creative idea, and so excited and loving. I didn't sleep for 2 days, I remember. And also I want to add it, And also I want to say that our project is the only mobile app that running successfully on the stage, which would give us a lot of credit, I would say. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, that is great.
Okay, so we have a couple of questions. So I'm gonna start, and then we'll just maybe alternate or whatever. I know Derek is really big into crypto and all this, so I fully admit he knows more about this than yours truly does. But I always like to learn things. So okay, let's briefly describe what Go Network is, what it does.
Yeah, so if you look at cryptocurrency, Ethereum is right now the second biggest currency, right? Mm-hmm. And Bitcoin is number one, of course, in terms of market cap. And all of these currencies are used heavily by people for mostly trading right now, right? So we are trying to build cryptocurrency to the masses. And right now, the biggest problem with cryptocurrency is scalability. So we are developing a mobile-first network infrastructure for Ethereum blockchain.
Okay.
So using our technology, people will be able to do very fast and cheap transactions on Ethereum. So we believe that to take cryptocurrencies at a level of Visa or other highly used platforms, we have to make it highly scalable and cheap. So that's what we are working on.
Yeah, it's just like we're building a highway for Ethereum, and it's mobile first.
Okay. So I see I'm looking at the Go Network site. You guys have your own token, right? The Go token?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm guessing it's an ERC20 token, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. So I mean, I've seen a lot of initial coin offerings out there, like or that are coming up, whether it's Lend or Bloom and a bunch of other ones. Obviously, they're using the funds generated by the Ether contributed in the ICO to build up their network. Specifically, what would the Go token be used for? And are you guys going to have an ICO soon?
Yeah, so we are planning an ICO. So recently, actually, just last 3 weeks, our whole ICO sort of went viral, right? A lot of interesting people have joined us as advisors.
Okay.
And our Telegram community grew for just like 50 people to like 7,000 plus, right?
Wow.
And our whitelist is over 6,500 people from all over the world. They want to contribute, right? So what Go token will be used for is to actually open and close state channel. State channel is a technology that we are developing, which is similar to other technologies like Raiden or Plasma that is being developed for Ethereum. But those technologies make blockchain or Ethereum scalable for computers. What we're trying to do here is similar stuff, but for mobile. So the way it works is that we do off-chain transactions, and every time an off-chain transaction happens, we open a state channel, right? So, for example, Walmart and you could open a state channel, and then you can do a 1 million transaction between you and Walmart, and all of that will be very cheap. And at the end, we just settle it on chain, which is Ethereum, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So every time a state channel opens or closes, there will be a small Go token fees. So you can imagine that as more and more people start using a technology, there'll be a very high demand for Go tokens, right?
Right.
And because there is a limited and fixed quantity of Go token, which is only 100 million, right? So over time, the value will grow as more people use it.
Oh, okay. Got it. So kind of like Bitcoin, if you want to get in now, you want, whether you're mining or you're buying, purchasing or mining a Bitcoin now would cost you more in Canadian or US dollars than it would have 6 months ago. So similarly, so the people who are getting in on the ICO, the hope is that their Go tokens do appreciate in value, and if they feel like getting out later, hopefully, if all goes well, they sell the 5, 10, 100 Go tokens that they've bought, and they'll actually net out a capital gain in traditional investing parlance.
Yeah. So what we are also doing is we'll be listing our Go token on exchange, right? So initially we'll be releasing a portion of the Go token to the public in the initial coin offering, and that is how it will come into circulation, right? Mm-hmm. So that over time, when people want to start using a technology, they can just go buy Go token from exchange, creating demand.
Okay, and I'm just curious. So later, so if I need to expend one Go token in order to open and close the state channel today, so are you basically saying? Well, I guess how's that going to work? So a few years from now,
so it's not going to be. Is
it going to cost? Like, could it cost me $500 theoretically in a few years, or would it cost like a portion of a Go token a few years from now instead?
Yeah, so it will be a portion, and the price will always be based on the transaction cost.
Oh, okay.
Right. So it's not that if a lot of people use it, then our system becomes too expensive. This is what's happening with Ethereum actually right now. But we will peg the value based on the usability, so that everyone will still have cheap costs, because we are competing with Visa and all these other technologies, and they have high transaction fees. Our transaction fee will be very small compared to those. Always.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. I just wanted to make sure I got all the questions out there. Stuart, why don't you go ahead?
Okay, so we have another one here. What keeps you motivated, or like what keeps you going into work every day and staying motivated?
Yeah. So I think we just love the whole cryptocurrency space right now. Initially, when me and Kai started working on iPhone games, that is when we saw, basically we got excited after we saw the Steve Jobs presentation of the iPhone, first iPhone, right? And then Kai came to me and he said, man, look at this iPhone that Apple is making. This is going to be huge. And I was a little bit skeptic, I was like, okay, I love my BlackBerry and stuff. But
I said the same thing. Don't worry.
But after I actually bought one, and then we saw potential, and there were some of the app developers that were making millions of dollars just from making up small games. That got us excited, and we built iPhone, right? I mean, not iPhone, we built iPhone games, and we got very successful with that. One of our most successful game is called Happy Park, which has over 15 million installs. And the reason why we did all of that is because we saw the potential, right? Like a really small team. We were just students back then from University of Waterloo, and we were able to create a game that the whole world basically installed. Like so many people from US and Canada, our game became number one. So we saw that potential, and that got us excited. And we saw a whole mobile revolution in front of us, and we experienced it, right? So with cryptocurrency, that's what we are seeing right now. The whole thing is actually only $200 billion if you look at the market cap right now, and this was only $100 billion a few months ago. So we see a huge tectonic shift in the way companies operate, in the way blockchain is changing every different part of the thing, of the how massively disruptive it is, right? This is like massively exciting for us, and this is what keeps us going every day.
Yeah, same for me. I want to add this that for me it's like more like I want to be also part of the whole evolution and the whole history. Right? Just like before we made one of the biggest theme park game on the whole iOS, So this really motivated me to work hard every day.
And it's basically the impact that a small team of people can have, over whole industries. This is just amazing, very exciting.
Yeah, and also before that, when we have a great success, we didn't even need to invest a lot of money. The whole cost of making that Happy Park game cost us less than 20,000. But then we created one of the largest and most popular theme park game on iOS. I've got more than 9 to 10 million download, which is crazy, right? No one would expect it. Same thing as what we're doing right now. We didn't even market our ICO. We didn't market our Go Net Worth, but people love our idea. They talk about it. Boom. Then all of a sudden we have 7,000 members in our Telegram. That motivates me to work hard every day.
And also, I would like to add that the crypto community is very amazing. So when we initially, when they saw our white paper, they read our idea. They gave us a lot of feedback on how to update it, change it, make it more attractive, right? And then, because if you look at early Bitcoin believers, those guys are highly excited about the change that cryptocurrency is bringing, right? How it's kind of decentralizing power and all of these things. So a lot of people like this actually have joined our community, and they're helping us build massive momentum. I love the energy that these guys bring. Like even when we went to Waterloo, the whole energy and excitement was just mind blowing. You don't see that stuff in normal hackathons.
Yeah, it's definitely been an interesting shift, and it's. You're right. The market cap for cryptocurrencies right now is much smaller than normal currency exchange. The amount of money that's in gold, that sort of thing, but it's definitely picking up steam. So as you I saw that you guys developed Pocket, which I think is that mobile, or started developing Pocket at ETH Waterloo. And as you mentioned pre-show, yours was the only one, or you were the only ones who had a mobile app working on stage, correct?
Yeah.
Right. So as you go forward with, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
But we figured it out. So
good stuff. So as you are going through the mobile testing and then onto the Go Exchange development, like right now, what are the biggest challenges or issues you're dealing with as you move forward towards your ICO launch and actually getting this out into the market?
Yeah, so initially, in terms of technology, there is a lot of technology that is not there, So even when we were building Pocket, a lot of information, like there was no explanation or description of code, right? So there is just this information, or there is libraries, but they are not well documented, because if you look at Ethereum, that has also skyrocketed in very small amount of time, right? The developers have not enough time to catch up with all of this and build proper documentation. So there's a lot of hacking. That's why the hackathon, right?
Yeah.
So while we develop even our whole product and everything, there's a lot of stuff for which you need expertise in terms of understanding technologies and also understanding programming and how all of these work. So that's why our engineering background, right, is actually very useful here. So I think challenges will be a lot of challenges. For example, there is the technology challenge. Also, you will have to find different use cases, right? So there is a lot of risk and challenges, but that is what makes it so exciting too.
Yeah, I think also one of the challenge is that you have to understand user. I mean, otherwise you can create a lot of crazy app or crazy idea, but no one will use it, right?
Right.
The good thing about us is that we have so many years of development on mobile, so we do understand people. We always talk to our user, and that experience gave out a lot of advantages during this whole thinking, this whole development. And at the end, after people heard about our presentation, they really love our idea. So a lot of people after the presentation, they came to us say, "Oh, great idea! We really believe in this idea." So that, yeah.
Okay. Good. Where do you folks, where do you see yourself in, let's say, 2 years or even 5 years?
Yeah, so what we want to see in terms of not just us, but the technology is we want to see cryptocurrency to be used by the average Joes, not just for trading, right? But for actual transactions, actual use cases in the world of cryptocurrencies, right? And we want to be an integral part of that change. So we want to help bring that change, and we want to contribute in any way that we can. So that is what we would love to see, the world to be changed in that way.
Excellent. Derek?
Yeah, I think we've got time for one more question here, and I will go with if cryptocurrencies weren't the big thing that they are right now. Let's pretend Bitcoin never happened, cryptocurrency never happened, Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever they happen to be, never existed. What other sort of projects or technologies are exciting you guys beyond cryptocurrency and blockchain, I guess? Kai?
I think the phone was ringing. Did they mute us?
Okay. All right. Well, let's assume we lost them temporarily, and we'll come back to that question later. No big deal. Let's move on with the show, and I think it's my turn for the quick hits. Is that right?
It is indeed. Yep.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Cool. So OnePlus, quite well known these days. They launched the 5T. It's basically a OnePlus 5 on the inside, but it has the same processor, memory, storage, etc. Even costs the same. The difference is that it has a 1080p AMOLED screen. It has a 18:9, aka 2:1 ratio, basically meaning exactly that. The screen is 2 times taller than it is wide, and it's got super thin bezels at the top, bottom, sides, etc. So it's actually a 6-inch screen instead of a 5.5-inch screen. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same. They do have their own version now of facial recognition using the front-facing selfie camera. So that's supposed to make unlocking the device really, really easy. It's even while it's on a desk or something like that. Apparently, according to a rep there, they use 100 different points on your face. It's only 2D, not 3D, but they do think it'll be difficult to fool with a photo or a video. So we'll see what happens there. Roughly $7.99 in Canada for the 64 gigs storage version, $8.99 for 128 gigs of storage. I'm just going based on British pound conversion. It should be around there. And should be available now, and it'll get Android 8 Oreo sometime in early 2018.
Excellent.
Well, in news I didn't think I was going to be reporting on this year, maybe next year, Amazon has brought Alexa to Canada. A whole slew of Alexa, I'm sorry if I'm setting off your Amazon voice services to Canada. So the Skills Kit, the voice service, Prime Music service is now available here, and the devices, the Amazon Echo, Echo Dot, and Echo Plus are all officially available here with a country-optimized Alexa. Apparently, she's got a Canadian accent. I'm not sure entirely what that means because there's no such thing. Because that could mean a Newfie accent, a Northern Manitoba accent, a Toronto accent, which is incredibly neutral, but that also could mean it's an immigrant because there's a lot of them in Toronto. I'm not sure what they mean by that, but I'd really like to hear it because maybe it means it's like this, don't you know? Like you really should turn that down there, eh? So anyway, yeah, it's Alexa is here. Echo devices are officially here. And slew of Alexa skills. So they were clearly working on this in the background. Air Canada, TD Bank, BMO, TELUS, CBC, Weather Network, Ecobee, Global, Chorus, Business News Network, Today's Parent, Globe and Mail, Sportsnet, Toronto Maple Leafs, I can only imagine what that one will tell you, TSN, and Manulife. So a whole slew of partners, and yeah, now you can actually go forth and build Amazon Voice Services skills and actually have your neighbors potentially enjoy them.
Awesome.
I watched live the Tesla Semi and new Roadster unveil on Thursday night, and only to find out Friday morning, Loblaw has already pre-ordered 25 all-electric semis, and Walmart... Hello. Hey guys, I'm doing the quick hit, so we'll get back to your question in a sec. And Walmart has also ordered 15 and said 10 of those will be used on Canadian routes as part of their tests. So this comes shortly after Loblaw's unveiled their BYD electric truck. BYD is a Chinese company that actually already pumps out twice as much battery capacity, 16 million kilowatt hours or something like that, versus 8 for Tesla every year. So they're huge. We just don't hear a lot about them here in Canada, and it'll be really exciting. Key points on the Tesla Semi, which I should have had here prepared, but let's see if I remember them right. At 80,000 pounds gross volume weight, and 100 kilometers an hour or so, there's a 500 mile range. It'll charge to 400 mile range in 30 minutes. Tesla is building a solar-powered global network of mega chargers. Forget superchargers, mega chargers. And across the world, that'll all be solar-powered. They're guaranteeing a 7 cent per kilowatt hour wholesale price on that, U.S., of course, so closer to 10 cents here, maybe 11. And yeah, and it looks really, really cool. And only seats one in front with 2 screens in front of you, and apparently that is the safest position for a truck driver to be in. Level 2, level 3 autonomy, so there's a not self-driving, but don't be surprised if self-driving happens soon. Tesla Roadster, super fast, crazy range, like 1,000-kilometer range on a full tank of gas going on the highway. And we don't know the price, of course. Oh, the Tesla Semi will be in production. Will be released 2019. Elon actually said if you order now, you'll get it in 2 years. So it sounds like mid to late 2019. And the Tesla Roadster, new Tesla Roadster, convertible, 4-seater, has luggage capacity. The Founders Edition or Founders Series for the first 1,000 pre-orders, a measly $344,000.
Oh, not much at all.
Shut up and take my money, if I had it. Because I could buy my house again for that much money.
I think so, and then some.
Yeah, the Canadian and U.S. governments, not really, more like militaries, conducted the Cause 5 resiliency experiment between November 15th and 16th. The whole point of this was to make sure that they could share information and communication across the border for a situation that happened, let's say, in the middle of Lake Erie, Lake Huron, some sort of cross-border or shared border situation. They actually simulated a volcanic eruption and subsequent crater collapse out west, lower mainland of BC and Whatcom County in Washington State. And so there was municipal, provincial, federal, and non-governmental parties all in there sharing information. And apparently this all went quite well. But they were testing out a new communication technology here. So seems like it all went well. There's a link to Government of Canada's release about it if you want to know more. And apparently I opened up that link twice, I think. No, I didn't.
Talking about TELUS now, I think.
Yeah. TELUS Health, they actually have a really big healthcare division. They've partnered up with a company called Tunstall so that Canadians who are using Tunstall's ICP, not Insane Clown Posse, integrated care platform to do remote monitoring and video conferencing telehealth solutions. So basically what they're trying to do is help patients with chronic conditions prevent unnecessary hospital admissions. That would be good. Apparently, Canadians or patients spend an average of 5,800 waking hours with chronic conditions each year. That's no fun. While typically spending less than 10 hours with a healthcare professional, of course, because you feel like you don't need to go to the hospital, or you don't want to bother them, or you're going to wait a while, and so you don't bother going. So the home health monitoring solution will let patients track and upload their vital signs from home. Virtual care teams can remotely monitor your biometrics in real time and intervene if they need to, and that sort of thing. So if this all goes well, of course, you will spend less time in a hospital, get better care, and it should cost less. Everybody wins. And of course, TELUS and Tunstall will take home money for their services.
Yep.
If you are unbanked, if you just don't want to use a credit card, whatever, but you love Amazon, now you can go to Canada Post, any of 6,000 brick-and-mortar Canada Post locations, and load up Amazon Cash at the post office, which you can then use on Amazon's website, again, without a credit card or a virtual Visa or virtual MasterCard or anything like that. This is geared towards Canadians who are outside the credit system, which apparently is about 10% of the population as of sometime last year, according to TransUnion. Oh, great. A credit company, or a credit check score company. I'm sure we can trust them. Yeah. And so you can add between $15 and $500 in a single transaction, no service fee. Use a company called LoadHub to handle all this. So if you need this, head down to your nearest Canada Post and load up some money, and then go spend it on Amazon, I guess.
Well, this is really good for people for one reason or another can't use credit cards or credit problems.
Oh yeah, if you have credit problems and that sort of thing, then at least you're not being shut out of the
exactly.
of the ecosystem. Okay, last but not least, I'm so ready for this. The Ontario government put out a problem statement as part of their Small Business Innovation Challenge, SBIC. No, that was not a racial slur. That was SBIC. The problem statement was all around having a common, secure, and user-friendly way for Ontarians to prove who they are. A company from Ottawa called Blue Inc. has decided to step up to their plate and is developing something called EID Me. It will let you prove your identity online and face-to-face. It should come with strong privacy features, but no password will be necessary. It will look to reduce human error, fraud, and identity theft, of course. And as we reach more than 68%, 70% smartphone penetration, obviously this would benefit a large portion of the population. And basically your health card would be on here, your driver's license, or a a BYID card, aka a proof of age without having a driver's license.
Right.
And you'll be able to register for the service directly from your phone. I think, what is the timeline on this? They're looking for it, a pilot deployment a year from now. And hopefully Buddha, Ganesh, Allah, God willing, this will work and will actually be accepted in places, and I won't need to carry around my wallet ever again, because this is really the sort of thing that's preventing me from leaving it at home most of the time. And that does it for the not so quick hits today.
That's fine. Okay, why don't we go back to the question, Derek, you were asking?
Yeah, so I don't know what happened, guys, but let's not worry about it. You're back. If basically, if cryptocurrency didn't exist, actually, doesn't really matter. What other technologies really excite you guys right now, other than crypto and blockchain?
I think something that excites us is the space technology, actually. So what is happening with SpaceX and what Elon Musk is basically doing is something that excites me a lot. So I follow that very closely. And I think that is the next frontier that we have to get to. Because if you look at our history, we landed on the moon. And after that, the whole technology really didn't get anywhere, right? The acceleration was not that fast afterwards, right?
Right.
So I feel like that is something very exciting. Guy, what do you think about you?
For me, I would say mobile payment would be very exciting. Although we have something like this right now, but if you look at North America, especially Canada, the whole mobile payment system is still not that amazing. Not a lot of people are using it, you know. If you look at China, everyone is using mobile payment everywhere, including royalty program as well. So basically, for some of my friends told me, he lost his wallet for 1 month and he didn't even notice it because he never need to use his wallet in China at all, you know. So when I look at this, it's like, wow, if we can have something like this in Canada and North America, that would be amazing. Another new technology, new things in China is the superstore that no one need to operate. So basically, the whole superstore, there's no clerk at all. You walk into the store, you get the stuff you need, and then when you will step out of the store, they will charge your phone right away, you know.
Kai, that makes me so happy. I've been looking forward to that day for such a long time. Literally, I was living in what year was this? In 2003. I was living across the street from the Real Canadian Superstore on the West End of London. Kitty corner. I could see it from my bedroom window. Yeah. And I would used to say to my girlfriend at the time, I'm like, it would be so nice if we could just walk in, put all the things we need in the cart, and as I'm leaving, because this one was when like RFID tags were starting to take off, when I'm leaving, you know, a bunch of scanners just boop, scan my cart, scans my credit card. Maybe I need to swipe it on the way out or something, or like, you know, tap it on something, whatever. That's, you know, but just scan my stuff on the way out. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm really happy to hear that the tech is being used somewhere, and hopefully it'll be perfected and come here soon too.
And I think Amazon is working on something like that. So this is artificial intelligence. Once it comes and becomes more mature, we'll see it everywhere.
Yeah, they are. They have got they've got that
it's employee. Amazon Go.
Yeah, employee less store. Yeah, that they're testing out right now. So, okay,
I prefer first fix the mobile payment. You know, improve the whole mobile payment experience.
Okay. Thanks for that. I'm glad you're back. And now we're going to hear from one of our sponsors, Olio Digital Labs.
Olio Digital Labs is one of Canada's most accomplished small market agencies, delivering web apps and mobile apps to businesses across Canada. In an era of persistent connectivity and pervasive mobile devices, it has become more important than ever before for businesses to be everywhere their employees and customers are. That's why Olio provides its clients with the peace of mind that only a highly skilled and experienced team can provide. A team that is big enough to support your needs, but flexible enough to work to your constraints. With a client list spanning from the Middlesex London Health Unit and Ellison Travel and Tours, all the way up to College Pro and the Home Depot, the team at Olio has proven itself to be the planners, designers, and builders of the web and mobile apps used by some of Canada's largest brands. Find out what Olio can do for you by calling 226-785-0420 or visit oliodigital-labs.com to learn more. That's Olio Digital Labs, code that powers every day.
And we'd like to thank Olio for continuing to sponsor the Canadian Tech Podcast.
Okay, let's get right on to our topics here. Our first story today is from Mobile Syrup. And talking about Loblaws again, actually. Loblaws is apparently going to partner with Instacart for grocery delivery service. Now, I know, Derek, this is something you might find interesting, because I know quite often you go grocery shopping pretty late after the podcast on a Sunday night.
Yeah, I'm probably going tonight again. Actually, I need to go to Walmart and get some pictures printed off, which I'm not happy about. But at least it'll be late at night, and there'll be very few people in the store. Yeah, I'm all about this. I went this morning, actually, and I managed to get in and out and home again in just over an hour, which was nice. But that is literally time I could have spent doing other things and doing more important things. So if I could, I mean, there's already click and collect, but the West End store doesn't have it yet. So if I could do this instead, place the order Saturday, delivered to me Sunday morning, I'm not in a rush, and it might cost me $4 plus 7.5% of the order, but that would have been $15 this morning. I probably would have paid that.
Yeah, exactly. I think more and more people realize, particularly when it's the same stuff you order over and over again. I know there's a lot of people in the States are using this, with Amazon and stuff like that already.
Amazon Fresh,
particularly like for dry goods even and stuff like that, because a lot of people will go to a market for their fresh stuff and their meat and stuff like that, but they're getting the same thing. They're getting the 2 boxes of granola bar, the box of cereal, the tube of toothpaste, stuff like that. And again, if it's ways you can save some time, just like anything else, I think it's a fabulous idea. Any other comments?
Kai, Rashid, do you have any? Would you use the Instacart delivery from a Loblaws store?
Yeah, sure. I think those are we always love to use new technologies, right? So it will be fun to experience that stuff.
Cool. Okay. Let's move on. Our good friends at the CRTC. First of 2 stories about our good friends at the CRTC. The first one is they want to implement universal call blocking for blatantly illegitimate numbers. So what's basically what they want to do is they want to classify 4 circumstances that a number can be classified as blatantly illegitimate. Numbers that match the number of the person being called. So yes, I've seemed to have gotten calls from myself sometimes. I don't answer because I know they're bogus. Mm-hmm. Numbers spoofed to be local calls when they're actually long-distance numbers, and numbers that don't conform to the established numbering plans, like the North American numbering plan, and numbers that completely omit caller ID information. Now, this is a little bit different than caller ID block. This is the lack of any caller ID information.
Right.
So they've put out, November 16th, they put out a call for comments to document. And they're asking, some of the self-service providers, basically, what do you think about this? And they're asking for industry working groups to find a way that they can implement this without interfering with actual proper calls, right? Because that would be kind of annoying if your business numbers all of a sudden universally blocked. Derek, any comments on? Do you think this is a good idea?
Yeah. So, it's definitely a good idea. I get plenty, not plenty, but I do get spam phone calls and text messages and that sort of thing on both of my phones, on my Cleverhost phone from Speak Out Wireless and my Google Pixel on Bell. So anything that helps reduce the number of calls I have to ignore right now would be nice. I'm hesitant on the caller ID thing only because, like, I know you said this is completely omit, which I don't, but I know that when I call people on the Cleverhost phone, it says like unknown caller, and that's not something I'm trying to do. It's just Speak Out Wireless is not passing on the info or something like that. So as long as it doesn't impact that, something I'm not trying to avoid, totally fine with this. Otherwise, that might be a problem for me, or just leave a voicemail, whatever. But I don't want my calls being blocked entirely just because Speak Out Wireless is not sending my caller ID information along in that way. Kai, Rashid, do you guys have any comments on this?
I think it should be based on the actual user, right? So let's say if you are very sensitive and you want all the calls that don't have an ID blocked, then you should be able to do it, right?
Right.
Because sometimes I only want to, because sometimes I actually don't even pick up the phone if I do not have that number stored locally, right? So I think it depends on the users. So as long as they give a lot of different power or different options to them, then it's pretty good.
Yeah, totally agree with what she mean. All they need is flexibility, I guess, and maybe good usability too.
Okay. All right. Second story on the CRTC. This is one I could rant and rave about, but I'll be nice. The CRTC is weighing
But I
an
got
impact.
my popcorn.
I know you got your popcorn. That's all right. I got an early day tomorrow. If I rant and rave, I'll be up half the night. CRTC is weighing impact on a revised wireless code following Rogers' request for delay. So the CRTC said December 1st there was going to be some changes to the wireless code of conduct. Mainly also, not mainly, but one of the things included was the fact that you can now request to have your device unlocked and the industry can't charge you for it.
Right.
And also only the wireless account owner, not the device holder, on family and share plans can consent to overage and roaming charges unless others on the plan are expressly authorized. So apparently, Rogers says they'll have the vast majority of required changes in place, including eliminations of its unlocking fees. I'll give you that. But the company added, there are a few areas we need more time to put in place the technical and billing system changes. I kind of call this bunk right now. It's amazing how fast Rogers can raise their price and make the changes for that.
Right after a competitor does.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's amazing how that works. So, so the CRTC is asking other carriers what you think, but they're asking Rogers, should you advise your customers how you'll be accredited for amounts charged in excess of the revised code caps until it fully implements the changes? So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the other manufacturers say. Another reason why I'm not a big fan of Rogers. Go ahead, Derek.
So, I mean, they're asking for trouble here, right? Because like Rogers is, because nobody else.
A week and a half to go.
Yeah, so nobody else seems to be having an issue, right? So it's TELUS, Bell, Videotron, Freedom, M Telecom, right? Like there's lots of other wireless carriers out there, smaller ones. Ice Wireless. I don't hear any complaints from anybody else. Rogers has thousands upon thousands of employees, surely at least a couple of hundred software developers maintaining their billing system. Surely to goodness, they can figure it out. And if they can't, then I have to wonder, well, did they delay the implementation and, they're just finally getting around to it? Like I work at a development agency. I know these things take time, but they have much bigger teams than we do at Olio, and yet we seem to pull amazing magic out of our butts every other week when a customer asks us for a crazy deadline, and 9 times out of 10 we nail it. We seem to be doing fine, and yet Rogers seems to be having an issue with, I don't know, 1 or 2 or half a dozen of the requirements that they're expected to meet. I don't get it. If everybody else can handle it, they should be able to as well.
Right, exactly. Gentlemen, Kai, Rashid, any comments?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. If you look, it's also about different companies, right? And the revenue model that they have. So sometimes they just, have so much money that they really don't make everything very streamlined, right? Because Rogers really owns a lot of infrastructure in Canada. So, I think they should be able to act fast. I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree too. But I don't think they will act fast because that may not be their real interest, right?
I think it's something around that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And our final story of the night, I know I got an email about this, Derek. I think you did as well.
Sure did.
PayPal Canada. Apparently, they had a request from the CRA, Canada Revenue Agency, they must disclose. PayPal has to disclose business information. All the they got served a federal court order, and they want all the information of Canadians account holders. Now, these are business account holders, I believe.
Yes, business account holders.
And they want the total amount and number of payments sent or received between January 1st, 2014, and the end of the last week. The CRA wants to make sure that individuals and corporations using PayPal are filing and reporting all their tax obligations. So yeah, I got an email. This shouldn't really surprise anyone. It is possible. I know the government's been cracking down a little bit more on this sort of stuff. But as I said, this is apparently PayPal Canada says it affects more than 6.4 million users. Now that figure includes personal accounts.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's not affected. So if you have a personal account, you should be fine. So you would have already got an email already. So yes, I trust you guys. Everyone's been good on doing their taxes. Now in the States, PayPal already does this for any users that has processed over $20,000 on the network or made more than 200 transactions in a given year. Currently, there's no such obligation in Canada, but you never know, right, Derek?
Yeah. Last part here from Max Greenwood, I think really nails it. The problem is going to be reconciling what CRA gets and your existing tax statement. So like if you have been doing it right and you're claiming everything and you're collecting the tax if you need to and all that, I think there's still going to be plenty of room for interpretation on whether or not you owe CRA more money or less or not. So I'm really curious about how accurate they're expecting this all to be, and really how much time it's going to take them to trudge through all this. Even if it's only $1 million, I know that CRA got an extra, I think $5 million over a couple of years to target things like this. I hope they use some of that on all the recent Paradise Papers and Panama Papers and all that fun stuff.
That's what most of the comments you read. That's what people are saying as well. So.
Right, because I mean, this has to be chump change compared to what they could potentially find there. But regardless, PayPal's done what they need to do. I think CRA has the info or will have the info soon that they requested. I'm really curious of who CRA, and this is not a tech angle, but of who CRA will actually bother to go after. Like, are they going to say, oh, well, it was less than $1,000, that you accepted through PayPal, not worth our time, or is it going to be less than 5, less than 10, or are they actually going to go after everybody, be like, no, you owe us an extra $30. Pay up.
I think it'll be a little bit like when you have businesses with like GST exemptions and stuff like that.
Right.
There's a certain amount before you need a GST license. There's a certain amount of business
$30,000
per year. Right. And frankly, if you're doing the majority of your business and you're putting tens of thousands through PayPal, as profit to your business as revenue, and you're not declaring it to taxes, well then, that's kind of like just some of these people who have these, tax structures in the Barbados or Bermuda and stuff like that. You're not paying your fair share. So, we're going to have to see what happens. All right. Any other comments?
I think that's a good discussion. And, it's a good kind of, it should be a wake-up call for entrepreneurs also, that they should always, file their taxes properly and think about disclosures, right? Because even for us, we have a business account with PayPal, and, it's very easy. We just download the CSV files connected with QuickBooks, and, all our information is there. So I think this is totally fine. It's just that people should be doing this already. I'm just surprised that a lot of people are not,
Yeah, and I think for the startup, they really have to understand the taxation thing from the beginning, because that's how we started. I mean, we did a lot of research. We make sure that everything was legal and everything was set up properly and file tax properly every year.
Even with our ICO, we are consulting with all the major law firms, right?
Right.
and accounting firms who have done other ICOs, and we are making sure everything is according to the law.
Cool.
Yep.
And
Good.
I understand as a startup, you're always very, very, very busy, right? But still, this is really part of the business. You cannot ignore it.
No, exactly.
Yeah, unfortunately, no. Yeah.
Nope. Okay. Well, now from the nastiness of the tax guy, let's talk about our good friends at CodeShip, Derek.
Let's. CodeShip is a SaaS-delivered continuous integration and delivery solution that lets you ship your apps with extreme mother effing confidence. You can choose between CodeShip Basic or CodeShip Pro. Basic is a simple testing and deployment service with pre-installed CI dependencies that works right out of the box, making the average setup time less than 3 minutes. Or you can try CodeShip Pro. Pro is a fully customizable CI and delivery service with native Docker support. It is much easier to use than Jenkins or Travis. It makes it easy to test and deploy your microservices. You can push to any registry. It's also perfect if you want to deploy with Kubernetes, and it comes with a convenient local command line tool that allows you to run your builds locally. It helps encrypt your environment variables, that's important, and guarantees 100% parity between your development and your production environments, also important. Both CodeShip Basic and CodeShip Pro come with a free plan that grants 100 builds per month, unlimited projects, and unlimited users. Open source projects are always free on CodeShip, so visit codeship.com today or check out codeship.com/features to find out which CodeShip product is the best fit for you.
And we'd like to thank CodeShip for their ongoing support of the Canadian Sec podcast. Okay, let's move on to stuff we like. This is the section where new things we've discovered, whether it's software, hardware, services, whatever. Mine this week, I use a service called Grammarly because I'm I may be a writer, but I'm a terrible speller. And Grammarly is really good. It's also a spell checker. It'll also do punctuation. It will make sure it puts that Oxford comma in. Grammar geeks will be laughing right now. The rest of you won't. That's fine. Anyway, they now have a keyboard for iOS with Android coming soon, which will do all the stuff that you can do with Grammarly on your desktop. As you're typing in various apps on your phone or your iPad, you can use this keyboard, and it'll autocorrect and offer suggestions. So you can actually look a little bit more smarter than you actually are. It's totally free, and as I said, the Android version's apparently coming out very soon, Derek. So even you can have perfect grammar.
I already do.
There you go. What do you got?
All right, it might not be perfect, but I like to think it's pretty good.
It's not bad. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I've got, what did I write down? I've got, the Remo Plus Door Cam. So this thing's really cool. A lot of the problems I see with trying to buy some sort of outdoor camera or the video doorbell is often the angle or sometimes the cost or just where it's going to be and some of the logistics. This thing, though, I really, really like. So basically, it actually goes over the door, like one of those coat hangers you can buy when you're in college to give yourself some more, or university to give yourself some more hanging space. So it goes over your front door, or any door that pushes in when you open it, which makes sense. The camera sticks out. It's got 3D batteries, Wi-Fi, etc., all built in, motion sensor, two-way talk, night vision. It'll last up to a year before you need to replace the batteries. I think that's pretty good. It's $200 US, and I think it's really, really nice, and it's super easy install. Literally, buy it, put the batteries in, throw it over the door, hook it up with the app, get the Wi-Fi password in there, and all that. You're done. There's no bolts, no screws. You don't need to put it over your existing deadbolt lock or replace your doorbell or anything like that. So I really, really like the idea and what they've done with it. There is cloud recording for the last 30 days. Like I said, two-way audio, 160-degree wide-angle view, and a whole bunch of other cool stuff. So no, it's not cheap, but $200 US for this sort of thing I'd say is a pretty good price. They do have a wireless Wi-Fi video doorbell if you want that. That's called the Remo Bell, There's also the remote cam, indoor camera, and a bracket that works with a lot of this stuff. So yeah, these guys seem to be killing it. I hadn't heard about them until I saw this on Product Hunt. But I might ask for one of these for my birthday.
There you go.
We'll see.
You know what
Depends on whether
I
I
like
can...
about this.
Go
This
ahead.
is really good for for someone with a rental.
Yeah,
where they
absolutely.
can't damage the door. So this is ideally.
Or like at Olio, we have this perennial thing where people like knock very trepidatiously on the door. We're all like, "Come in!" Like just and so that this sort of thing could actually help us remove the awkwardness of knocking on the door, especially once our Locatron finally arrives, whenever that is.
Oh, okay.
If
So
you put
you
this
mean
together with the Locatron. Oh, hey, it's so and so at the door. Yeah, unlock the door. Come on in.
Damn.
And we'll have
damn.
both.
You mean I won't be able to barge in anymore?
I don't know. I don't know if we're actually going to lock it during the day or not. I don't think so.
Because I come for the coffee and I stay for the just to be annoying. No, I'm kidding.
That's what we allow. It's fine.
Exactly. All right. Let's just move right on to what are we up to lately.
Yeah.
I'm still on the full-time job hunt. I am refocusing some of my consulting business strengths. I'm going to, I've decided I'm focusing a lot more on the training side. That's where I seem to have requests for individual and group training. So I'm going to, I met with some people, some very smart people, much smarter than myself. That happens a lot. And that was basically confirmed what I was thinking of doing. So that's where I'm going to go with there. So that's what's happening here. And yep, got to take the car in for a service next week and all that good expensive stuff. What have you got, Derek?
Well, I spent a good portion of the weekend in West Lorne watching my oldest son's hockey team's tournament, and they came in second place today. Well earned.
Yay.
The team they lost to was stacked because apparently they're from a town so small that they can't actually put a full novice team together. So some of the kids are definitely older, like they belong in Adam, but they can't. So whatever, they let them in and they destroyed everybody. But my oldest son's team did really, really well, and they won. They beat every other team that was in the tournament, so they did well. Otherwise, I've been responding to tickets at Cleverhost, pumping out some proposals at Olio. Did pick up a few new clients at Cleverhost recently, so that's been nice. And tomorrow, I'll actually be in Kitchener, where near Kai and Rashid, going to an event at Google's community space on, I think it's called Breithaupt Street, some sort of German name.
Breithaupt block.
Yeah, so I'll be there tomorrow at around 5. Anybody's in the area also going to the event, come find the bald guy with the glasses.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'd love to thank Kai and Rashid for being on the show tonight. We really appreciate you joining us, guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It was a lot of fun to be here, actually.
Yep, same here. It's my honor.
Okay. Excellent. So, for the Canadian Tech Podcast, episode 140, Sunday, November 19th, 2017. I'm Stuart Clark.
My name's Derek Silva.
This is Rashid.
And this Kai.
Thank you, and be well.